We're going to get started here in a little bit. I want to welcome those of you that are already here in the chat. I want to welcome you to Your Solution, another live interactive broadcast, 30 to 45 minutes. We're going to be here. We're going to look for solution. We're going to look for something. Why are you here? Get ready to put your seatbelt on, strap it on nice and tight. Make sure your door's locked. Turn down your distractions. The FTs, turn them down, move them out, turn them away so we can focus. Grab your pen, piece of paper. Welcome. Jim, welcome. Mark, welcome. MB24, welcome. Hello, community. Race, let's pray we can all learn something today. Joshua says, I need help. Me too, Joshua. Honestly, every day I need help. You're at the right place at the right time. My question to you is, how can we support you? Right? How can I support you? What can we do tonight on this broadcast to help you get going on in the right direction? All right. Menu. Man. Lost everything, job. Now I'm in debt. Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that, but you're at the right place at the right time. We're going to be speaking on the topic tonight a little bit. If you guys will join me, actually, we're not broadcasting. We're just broadcasting via YouTube tonight. So if you, community members, soldiers, tribesmen, if you work with me tonight on this broadcast, we'll be able to figure out how relationships can help you and I, right? How relationships can help us build, go forward, turn on the light, and look at the foundation, right? The first relationships that we've had, foundational relationships, you could be today suffering the consequences of seeding. SEEDING from early relationships, right? Way down early on in life. And then we're wondering, what's going on today? What's going on with my life? I just seem to have a hard time figuring things out. Why do I keep making bad decisions? Like, why do I keep going to the casino? Why do I keep going to the casino when I know it's wrong? I know it's wrong, but I keep going there. We got to dig into that and find out what's going on there. There's emotions that are controlling, no longer the mind, right? It's your emotions that are taking over and they're ruling with a rod of iron. All right, my friends. But it feels good to be free from gambling. And I can tell you right now, gambling and all its promises, they're lies. They're lies. Any scratchers, sports betting, bookies, online casino betting, online, it's all like a house of cards. We know what a house of cards is, right? Eventually the house of cards will not stack up. It will tumble. So that's what we're going to be discussing. Anybody here? Let me see. Hey, Jim, welcome. Hire Santos. He will help you. Man, I could help each and every one of you guys if you would just take a little bit of the money that you blow in the machines, in the casinos, and invest it in yourself. That's the only way it's going to work. So I'm sorry to hear that you're depressed, but you're at the right place at the right time. Joshua, you're at the right place at the right time. Now, if you have a question, again, if you're here, I'm going to recommend that you take notes. My pen is invisible, okay? See-through, because it's green. Take notes and begin processing a plan for yourself. Don't stay where you are. Do not stay where you are unless you want to. I mean, if you want to stay there, you can. I'm going to be shipping out a book on Monday. I was thinking about giving away journals, right? I might start selling these for $15 each, since I can't give them away. But I've got some really cool journals. They're really nice journals. And if you want one, all you have to do is request it. Okay, one per episode. Anyhow, pretty soon I'll have them for sale. If nobody wants them for free, I'll start selling them. Anyhow, let me get into the proverb here. Let me see. I play online casino. I'm from Brazil. I win a lot of money. Don't we love to hear that? Man, I win a lot of money in the casino. People always talk about their winnings. Yeah, I won a jackpot last week. How about the week before that one? I won another jackpot. Yeah, but I lost most of it. And then on top, I lost when I was trying to go back to the casino. So you play online 4 years, but now end of the line, I lost money. I had years and 10 jobs lost. At least you're still here. At least you're still here and you haven't thought about taking your own life. Because when people lose this much, they start thinking about. So I'm glad you're here. Again, take some notes. Look for step number 1. You got to have a plan. I don't care. You could be the richest gambler and you're struggling with problems. If you don't have a plan to get out of that situation that you're in, you've got nothing, my friends. You've got nothing. Wishful thinking, right? We say a lot, oh, I'm going to do this. That's what we do all the time. And nothing gets done, right? It's like the car tires are spinning right there, and you're right there. The car's right there, but the rubber's burning. Man, no hurry. I'm not trying to make light of the situation, but it's the truth. Gambling is a lie, and gambling will wreck you, will wreck your car, will wreck your pocketbook, your wallet. It'll wreck your spirit. It'll put a dark hole right here, black hole right here in your heart, man. Black hole right here in your heart. And that black hole won't be filled by anything or anybody until you have that awakening. So I'm glad you're here. Let me read the proverb real quick here. It's an interesting proverb. Proverb 14. This is actually the Proverbs 14:34 and 35. Righteousness exalteth a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. See, we don't need reproach. The king's favor is toward a wise servant. The king's favor is toward a wise servant. But his wrath is against him that causes shame. You know, people think they're going to get away. We think we're going to get away with stuff on this planet. We're not going to get away. We're not going to get away. It's going to come back like a slingshot boomerang right between the eyes. Now, we have to find the step 1, right? We have to find step 1. We have to find that plan. You got to begin somewhere. So my question to you is, what's that one step? So here's another question also. Do relationships really have an impact in our lives? Does relationships have anything to do with you gambling today? Does relationships have anything to do with you gambling today? If you're gambling. And how do they impact us? How do relationships impact us in a negative way? Right? How do they impact our life? They impact our gambling, our business. Think about it. What leads you to the casino when it comes to relationships? Maybe you're a loner, right? Everybody's abandoned you. Or maybe you've abandoned others. They're all gone. You still need relationships. Right here in this community, we can forge relationships that will help us build the bridge. By the way, thank you, Keith. I appreciate the donation. I appreciate the support. Thank you for that. Here is the place where you can build a relationship with me if you want. Hey, I'm already free. Why not get advice from somebody that's already doing it? Let me ask you this. Is it wise to build a relationship with somebody that's already doing something that you want in your life? Is it wise to do that? Build a relationship somehow. Well, man, I can't see you, Santos. I can't talk to you. Well, you can. It's an investment. But you can see me and talk to me here on Sundays, right? You can see me in videos during the week. We can build a relationship. And I'm telling you, my friend, I don't know if you realize that relationships is alliance. Today, it's all about relationships. Look at the world, United States and the European nation and all the NATO and the Asian BRIC. What is it? Relationships, alliances. Yes. Hopefully, I'm making some sense here. Let me see. Make sure I'm getting... My friend, I hope that you're getting something out of this broadcast. I truly hope that you're taking notes. I hope that you're getting ideas. I hope that you're getting inspired and recognize that, you know what? Enough is enough. Draw a line in the cement and say, you know what? No more. And I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight every day, day by day, right? Hour by hour. If you got to do it half hour by half hour, then do it half hour by half hour. Fight against your enemies, because if you don't, your enemies are going to fight against you, and your enemies will take you over. Your enemies will take you over, and they'll bring you right into the casino, to the roulette table, to the cards, to the bookies, to the sharks, to the animal bets, and what have you. And you'll be back here again telling me about your story, how much you lost. Is that your life? All right, let me look at some more comments here. I'm excited. By the way, time's going to go by very quick. These days, I just want to sleep all day for don't wake up. It's a very black hole. Yes. So I'm glad you're here, though. And I hope that you're taking some notes. I hope that you're taking this very seriously, because Monday's coming, Tuesday's coming, and you're going to have to go back out to work and labor to bring in some more money, to bring in some more, right? Some more income, some more peso, euro, rupee, dollar, whatever. Who else has a question? Hey, welcome. I hope everyone has a great 4th of July weekend. Yes, definitely. Any questions? Any questions? How do you feel about relationships today? The relationships don't make any difference for you, do they? Right? What if you just get involved with bad relationships all the time? That won't make a difference, right? You go out there and just mix it up with anybody. Do relationships impact your business? Negative relationships, right? What happens in arguments and letdowns? People lacking integrity. What happens when what happens with arguments and stuff like that? People that arguments and people that are let down and they feel just totally abandoned. What do we look for? We look for something to do. Day by day. Half hour by half hour if you have to. Day by day. Little by little. The Bible says, here a little, there a little. Precept upon precept, line upon line. I mean, friends, you got to realize there comes a time where you have to look at what you're doing. You have to look at what you're doing. If you're losing a lot of money, look at your bank account. Oh, I hate looking at my bank account sometimes. Do you? You open up your phone or your bank account, you look at your bank account. I remember this one guy said, he goes, if you got nothing in your bank account, because I'm the firm believer of being positive, right? Don't focus on the negative. But the truth is that you may have to look at the negative in order to get something positive. You got to face the iceberg, face what's underneath the water, right? Lift up the carpet. No more shoving underneath the carpet. You can't, you know how people are? Something happens. Hey, quickly, let's hide it. Let's not tell anybody. Shove it underneath the carpet, right? After a while, it begins to build up a little bump. And somebody trips over the carpet and then they find your garbage. They find all the stuff you've been hiding. All those little things you've been hiding under the carpet. It's all out in the open. It's time that you recognize this game. It's time that you recognize gambling for what it is and what it's doing to you as a human being. Recognize it. Hopefully you'll see that on this broadcast. What's it doing to you? What's that relationship doing to you? Right? What's that relationship with the casino doing to your brain? How are you waking up in the mornings? Mo said that he doesn't want to wake up. He wants to go to sleep all day. Yeah, that's how I wanted to do. I wanted to sleep all day and be under the covers. Right? But you can only sleep so long. And then you have to get out and you have to face people. You have to face people. It feels good to be free. Was there a time in your life when you felt free? Was there a time in your life where you felt free? Go back there. Think about that with me. When you felt free, you felt freedom, you felt strong, you felt like you had something going on. Is there a time that you could think about? Tap into that thing. Tap into that thing, and you Maltz talks about, and Roger Bannister, the 4-minute mile man, 1954, May 6th of 1954, he broke the 4-minute. Tap into that mind of yours and begin get creativity. I realized that I can never walk into a casino again. Good, 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 good. I'm glad that that seed is in your mind. I realize that I can never walk into a casino again. That's my philosophy right there. Keith, I think you stole something from me. Good. I seriously believe the smell of a casino is distinct, and I believe with all the lights and sounds and smell there is to distract you. There's a smell, there's an aroma, right? Have you ever sat in front of a nice plate of food? Just a wonderful plate of food, and it's nice and warm and in front of you, man, and you just take it in, that aroma. Oh man, your mouth begins to water, and you're waiting for everybody to dig in so you can dig in, right? That nice aroma. It goes into your nostrils, it reaches into some cells in your brain, and then it goes into your body and it affects your nervous system. Ooh, it gives you the tingles, huh? Something good. That's how you need to have your life. Think about the vision. like a good meal, like a good aroma, and the casinos become a horrible stench. It smells like death. Have you ever smelled death? Death is a horrible smell. Stinks. Picture that the next time you decide to go into the casino. Try to picture that smell of death in your mind, and you'll even smell it. It'll get you thinking. Stop and think. Hey, you guys remember that drill? Uh, Stop and roll. Right? If there's a fire, stop and roll. Stop and roll. Roll yourself out the door. Right? It's the same thing with gambling. In order to stop, stop and roll. Stop and think. Right? Stop and think. Slow down. Be here. Be present. Listen to the sound of my voice. It's a good relationship we're building here. And I'm doing some excessive preaching on this wonderful Sunday. Anyways, we're here. What? We've got about another 10 to 15 minutes. I don't know if Jim is still on. If Jim, let me see if we can bring Jim. Jim, are you still here? We'll see if we can bring him on the camera. We'll, let me see. Can I do this? Yes, copy. Jim can come on and share his bit here, talk about his um, relationships. I agree. Keith, let me see. He says, well, here in Brazil, casinos local are illegal. That's a good point. But online casino destroying a lot of lives. Yes. In fact, that's where we're moving is online. Very, very fast. Very fast. Online, and their goal is children. Their goal is young people. Their goal is young people. You got children? You got little ones? You got little ones? Think about what I'm sharing here. Think about it. In 5 or 6 years, you could have an 18-year-old that's hooked on casinos. Oh, I'm telling you. All right, we've got Jim on here. We're gonna let him share here in a little bit about his take on relationships. Are they important today more than ever? And should we have a lot of relationships, you think? Should we have a bunch of relationships, like friends and friends? What do you think, Jim?
Yeah, hi there, Santos. Yeah, you talk about relationships, and when you brought that topic up, I thought about the question: what kind of relationship do we have with ourselves? You
Wow.
know, I mean, it's
Wow.
like, if our relationship with ourselves is not strong, you know, we'll just get sucked into a lot of garbage, man. When we're interacting with a lot of people, we're gonna be more influenced and sucked into bad relationships, just getting manipulated
Yeah.
and triggered.
Yep.
So I think, it's like I said, what's really going on between me and myself? It's like, why do I feel this? Where is this coming from? If I don't know this stuff, then I'm just going to be pushed and pulled by the wind. The winds of people. It's kind of like this. I mean, the second law of thermodynamics is right. Chaos increases, right? Chaos increases, and if you're just thrown into the world, you know, the world will want to take as much from you as possible, just rip you apart, just destroy you.
Exactly.
If you're not strong, if you don't have your act together. So, when you talk about relationships, I think it has to start with yourself, you know, and just being mindful, of where you coming from, what's happening, why am I doing and feeling and thinking the way I am? Why am I hanging around these people?
Yeah.
What are my values? If I'm not clear about like what my major values are, it's tough to kind of navigate your way through life. Some people have like very very solid basic things like God first, then country and family, stuff like that. You know, very very simple, and that's kind of like a beacon, kind of a light, right? That kind of guides you. You know, a lot of times we say this kind of stuff, to look good, sounds good. It's the politically correct thing to say, but really, you have to ask yourself: do I really believe this? Are my actions, the things that I do and feel, and Think, are those really in line? You talk about that congruency, right? Are they congruent with what I say, or am I just kind of being phony? Do I really am I really, believing what I say? You know. So knowing yourself, that relationship is really important with yourself. Um, so
That's that's a good point that you brought up. Um, the best relationship that you can have is I believe is with yourself, right? If you don't have a good relationship, if you don't have a good relationship with yourself, um, what can you say about that? That's um, you're you don't know who you are. You're
yeah,
easily manipulated. You're very easily manipulated
you
by
were
the
talking about, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, you were talking about a few months ago, different hierarchies of survival. You know, and it's like the common denominator, the lowest common denominator is just like, I don't want to die. You know, whether it be a social situation, physical situation. I don't want to die. I'm going to do whatever it takes to protect myself, not die socially, not die physically, not die whatever. And I'm just going to go ahead and go through the motions, whatever it takes. And by doing that, you kind of compromise, your ability to move higher up, and become stronger. And I think that's important to realize. It's like, I think our values are kind of tied based upon, what we truly value as far as, or define as, survival. Some people graduate up. It's like, what, I'm not worried if I'm going to get knocked around a little bit. My goal is to, become this person.
yeah.
My goal is to help those people. And I don't care if I screw up a little bit here or there. I get made fun of and laughed at. I don't care. You graduated up to another level of survival, right? You want to survive for meaning and purpose, right? But sometimes, if you're not kind of set on that, you're going to kind of stay at the lowest common denominator of just physical survival, emotional survival, whatever it takes.
Yeah, you'll be most of the time you'll be tossed around.
Hmm.
Henry Ford, in Napoleon said that Henry Ford surrounded himself with a few men that were a lot smarter than him when it came to certain aspects of his business. He had different people, and uh, what he had the ability to do, those other men didn't have the ability. He had relationships with these men. He wasn't jealous. It was him and his wife. But the main person that really built Henry Ford was his wife. She was there through thick and thin. Henry Ford was a very creative. He had an imagination about him, but he wasn't educated. He wasn't a very smart man. So he had alliances of others that were smarter in these other areas in order for his dream to work. And he could truly do that. And I'm sure that it wasn't all perfect for him, but he could only do that because, as you mentioned, you brought up that good point. We are talking about relationships here. He knew himself. Henry Ford knew himself. It's funny, Napoleon Hill didn't know himself that well back then. If you've ever read the book, he tell he told Dale Carnegie that he picked the wrong man to write that book, uh, Think and Grow Rich. He was about to tell him, or maybe he did tell him that he picked the wrong man. But Dale Carnegie knew. He knew good. He knew some good character. I guess he knew some good character. Here's my point in all of this. What we're talking about here is something that we could dedicate ourselves to 30 minutes a day. What we're talking about here. What's that going to do for you? It's going to help you to know who you are better. It's going to help you to understand why you're gambling. And your gamble might not necessarily be the casino, it might be something else, right? The casino is just an extension of something else that you're doing that, I guess, maybe to say it this way, it's lessening the pain. Your casino adventure journey is lessening the pain a little bit of what it is that's underneath there, the root. But the problem, what happens after you don't deal with stuff? You've probably heard this, Jim, that um, the pain of discipline, the pain of discipline is lighter, a lot lighter, much, much lighter than the tonnage weight or the heaviness of regret. Man, I could have did. Man, I should have. Right? We should all over ourselves. Right? I should have did this. I should have, should have. We should all over ourselves all the time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, uh, yeah, I think about you know, why we do certain things. We talk about survival. We talk about trying to, um, just. I think one of the toughest things to have a relationship with ourselves, why we don't have a relationship, is because you know we might not be able to find a lot of answers to questions that we have. And it's like, what is my purpose? Why am I doing this? What makes me happy? Why aren't I happy? I do this, it's not making me happy. I'm with these people, I'm not happy. Why? I don't know. I don't know. You know, why can't I succeed? I don't know, And we don't want to hear that kind of answer. So we don't have these conversations with ourselves. I think, but I think if you keep at it, journal like you talk about, you know, have those mirror talks, have those kinds of conversations little by little. You can start reflecting upon yourself, your actions, and it's like, yeah, this is what makes me happy. This is what makes me upset. I'm piecing together the things. It's like if we don't have an answer for ourselves, some people, emotions, it's a big trigger. It's a panic, fear, right? And it's like, oh, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. So people have refused to, have that relationship with themselves. I mean, some people might think that's kooky. It's like, oh, you're strange. You're so what are you doing talking to yourself? That's weird. Don't do that, man. Be normal, fit in like everyone else. In a way that you're that's kind of a bad relationship right there. That negative self-talk you talk about, right? What are we saying to ourselves? We always have these voices in our minds, right? Trying to direct us to the best place. But
Well,
really, what is the best place?
I was thinking about relationships, our foundation, you know, our moms and dads, the way that they treat us when we're children, how they either taught us or they didn't teach us.
Hmm.
And all of these things today, it's like I was listening to one of my digital coaches, and she was talking about how we make decisions or we don't make decisions predicated upon the shame or the confidence that was given to us very early on in life. So we either have confidence that we're building today, or we're living off, we're just basically an introvert living and hiding from most people. I wanted to say this, that this is awfully strange. It's very, very, it's kind of scary also. They did a research, they've done many researches, and they found that we make decisions, 95% of our decision making is predicated upon emotion. Now think about that for a minute. So I don't know how accurate that is. 95% of your decision making is influenced by emotion. Now, how does that compute? How does all that work? I don't know how it all works, but imagine if we're being influenced 95%. That means that we only have like what, 1 to 5% to figure things out. We need to get smarter and realize, where am I being influenced? The next time that I'm buying something, I'm going to ask myself, where did I see this, or how am I being influenced? Am I really being influenced 95%?
Yeah, that's analyzing your feelings. You got to stop and say, it's like, why am I feeling this way? You know, yeah, I mean, like, feelings will dictate you, right? Emotion, it'll dictate your actions. So it's
Yeah,
like some people just are on automatic pilot, right? And you bring up a good point. These feelings are ingrained in us. They have been created a long time ago in our childhood, right? Because we're
yeah,
just we're dependent and we're just trying to survive. And there's these things, these triggers, right, that cause us to like freeze up, get angry, get sad. It's all about that fear stuff, the parents smacking you around for saying certain things, doing certain things, thinking certain things, and it's that's what it is. And
yeah,
just people kind of go throughout life not really thinking about this stuff, but they're controlled by these triggers,
yeah.
and it's like I don't have to be that person anymore. I don't have to be
Exactly,
triggered, you know if you
exactly.
just kind of wake up,
Yeah,
you
that's
know
why this program like this, it kind of, it's. I really. By the way, this is like episode 165. I got to keep a number. 165, episode 165, somewhere in there. Actually, it's not that high, but we're going to keep it at number. I like that number. Um, yeah, and we're getting close to the end of the hour here. My friends, this is the reality. Either we're building ourselves up or we're building ourselves away. And it doesn't matter how much of a pain, how much discipline uh, it's going to take for you to get yourself to where you want to be. It's for me. I tell you, man, it was difficult at one time. It's gotten a lot easier. It's gotten a lot easier. But I look over my life and I can see a lot of like in my home when I was a child, we didn't deal with situations when problems, when there was a violent act, when my dad stirred up, it was just forgotten. It was dropped. It was shoved underneath the carpet. That's the way we dealt with things. That's how I learned. You don't confront shit. You put it underneath the carpet. Don't face it. And let me tell you, that's the worst advice that I could have gotten from. They didn't tell me that, but I saw it. That's the way it was because you learn more by what you see as a child versus somebody telling you something. Observation is very high, right? That's how we really learn. Education is like a small, when you're being taught, very, very small percentage of learning. So we don't learn by what we hear, right? Our children, our parents are telling us one thing and we're watching and do something else. Well, subliminally, what you saw them do, I call that ESL, everyone's second language, ESL. That's what stays with you for life. That's why somebody might be gambling. They might be gambling from something that happened. There was a trigger that happened very early on in life and planted a seed. I call it seeding. And that seed didn't germinate till 30 years later. Isn't that weird? You got a situation happen and you got a seed in your mind that was planted 30 years earlier, and bam, there's water to that seed and it sprouted. And now you've got a habit. Either it's a good habit or a bad habit because it can go positive or negative, right? Something good can happen immediately for us, or something terrible can happen. Either
yeah
way, it depends on what you had as a foundation, what you were taught with those relationships early on in life. And I'm telling you that um, if we're not willing to look at the foundation of where we come from, if we're not willing to look at the foundation of where we came from, it's going to be very difficult to deal with today. It's going to be very difficult to know where we're going. Why? Because history has a way of repeating itself.
yeah yeah Santos, yeah. You talk about these things that happen in our past, and a lot of us have been just we all been just kind of going on just like a cruise control kind of set mindset dictated by feelings. And it's like I see in the comments a lot of people lost a lot of money, in the past, a lot of destruction,
Yeah.
But there is some hope, to understand that, what, stuff happens in life, and, you can get caught up at the wrong place at the wrong time, right? And in our mindset that we just didn't have the tools, it took us to that place. Okay. It could be like, I mean, just similar to an accident. You're in the wrong place at the wrong time, you know. But right now, with these tools that we're gaining from this show, you know, and learning from other people, we can, start turning the ship around and start controlling stuff now. Now we can dictate. We can say,
Exactly.
you know what, I don't have to go here anymore.
Exactly.
I don't have to feel this way anymore. I don't have to.
Exactly.
And I can make a plan.
Yep.
I can make a plan. I don't have to be swayed by the winds. Yeah, a lot of crap happened in the past. You know what? It sucked and I just didn't have the tools back then. I forgive myself. I'm not going to blame myself that much. Maybe a little bit, I don't know. But it's like I forgive myself. I'm going to let it go. But now I have some tools and
Exactly.
I'm going to start controlling my life, you know and
Exactly.
that it's that perception and it's that mindset, that's the way you perceive things, I think. And that, I think, you know starts with that new conversation that you have with yourself, that new relationship. You got to choose, you know what, I choose to, forgive myself. I choose to understand that, what happened in the past, it sucked. I had problems, yeah. A lot of it was not in my control. Maybe it was, but I just didn't have the tools. But now I have some tools, and I'm going to start using these tools. And
Exactly.
that's hopeful. That's really hopeful, and we want to develop a hopeful relationship with ourselves. You know that positive, positive relationship. I
Yeah,
was
I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm not looking to build a lot of, I'm not looking to have a lot of relationships. That's not my goal. A few key people that I can connect with here and there that I know that are loyal to themselves. Every once in a while, we can connect, here on this broadcast or even outside of this broadcast. But I've recognized that, 55 years I've been on this planet, the best friends that you will ever have are the ones that you build when you build yourself first. When you build yourself first, and then you'll be able to have good alliances. A lot of time we don't have good alliances because we're not really building ourselves. And I don't have time to be building alliances with people that are going nowhere. I feel bad for them. I empathize for them, but I don't want your plan. I don't need your plan. I've got my own. You want me to share mine with you so you can get yours going? No? Okay. Then you're on your own.
you build up a good point there, Santos. I want to include this idea. When you start developing that good relationship with yourself, you start looking at your relationships with other people, and you think about your values. You think about, how you value these other people, and you start, you know, clarifying boundaries. Boundaries are very, very, very important. I think there's a book called Boundaries by Dr. Henry Cloud, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's very important to set boundaries, that are in line with, what you value, right? Because, there's different levels of values. Everyone has so many values, and oftentimes we get confused,
Yeah.
and one conflicts with the other, and it's like, especially with people, right? It's like family. I love you, my family is important, but yet that relationship can be very toxic and not aligned with what you believe in, what
Yeah.
what you believe in. So you got to kind of think about, it's like, Jim Rohn talks about it. It's like, what kind of associations are you making? Is it limited association, or expanded association, or no association, right? Because there's another guy who said, like, what makes your life, is based upon the books you read and the people you meet, right?
Exactly.
And you got to be very careful with the relationships you meet, because they can just, send you in a bad direction if you don't know, who you are and what you value, you know so yeah, setting good
Yeah.
boundaries
This
is
is
very
it's
important.
it's tragic, and we know this already. It's tragic when your mind is hijacked. It's a tragedy, and the truth is that a lot of gamblers, their minds are hijacked.
Hmm. Yeah.
My hope is that we can wake some of these individuals up to see the reality of what's real, and that's what this program is about here.
Yeah, it's important with different perspectives. I mean, it's like if you have an uncle, right, who's crying at you, it's like, oh, please give me just a few more drinks, right? And it's like you see the tears running down his eyes, please. And say, oh, my uncle is hurting. I love him so much. I don't want him to cry. Here, let me give him another drink. Are you really loving the guy? Are you really, do you really love him, right? So if we start kind of really thinking about what does love mean? What does respect mean? You start thinking, am I really helping? Am I valuing that person? It's like if I say no more alcohol to him, you can say, I love you so much, that I'm not going to enable that bad behavior because I love you. But wait a
Yeah,
minute, I'm your uncle. You should take care of me. Don't you understand? No, no. Stand firm, understand your boundaries, right? But some people, like you said, these emotions, right? These emotions mess us up. And if we don't have that emotional intelligence, right? Understanding values and perspective, what it means to love someone, what does it mean to respect ourselves, what does it mean to respect other people? If we're not clear about that kind of stuff, man, it could really, really send us in the wrong direction, especially with people, man.
yeah, and again, it's a big. Maybe we can talk a little bit more about this uh, on next week. What is love and what is self love or self relationship building? We'll talk a little bit more about that on next episode. We'll dig into this deeper because let me tell you something. Unless this is so real, you start off with one or two things in your life because our lives are so complicated. You mentioned that we have all of these value levels, they're all over the place. Sometimes you talk to people and they say the very words come out they don't know. They say, I don't know. And they don't know. They don't know where to start. You got to find one area, two key areas in your life and begin working. Again, my suggestion, I'm going to give you a call to action, is to grab a journal. Grab a journal and write one little thing down. One little thing. Don't write your story. You probably can't. Maybe you can. You write one thing down, right? Man, I want to get this thing. How can I take care of this thing? What do I need to do to build an anchor? And you start out with a journal and a question, and you'll get better. Believe me, most of the situations that you're in that you can't get out of is because you don't have an answer. You don't have a solution yet. You keep asking the right questions or keep asking even the bad questions. Eventually, the good questions will come out because you have whatever goes up, right? Like they say, whatever goes up first is down. In order to go up, you got to start here. So you start your questions, you get better and better. Next you know, you're getting self revelation to yourself all the time, faster and faster. It's a wonderful thing to journal. It's a wonderful thing to keep a log, to write things down. And most of you already doing that, whether you recognize or not, you're keeping a digital journal online. You want to know where? You're keeping it on my channel because I can go back and look at your comments from 6 months ago or a year ago. I can see where you're at. That's a digital journal. So if you're already doing it there, do it for yourself. Do it personally. It's a blessing. It'll help you stop the bleeding. It'll help you grow. It's a win win. You can share this idea with somebody else about journaling. And who knows how this may blossom your life. You'll start out in one little area. Next, you know that journal's being used in all kinds of different areas of your life. That's my call to action. We had a great proverb. We've had a great show. Well, I don't want it to be a show. Hopefully, you've gotten something out of this. Jim's been with us here sharing his part, as he always does. So I want to acknowledge those of you that are here. Um, MMFI, Nick, and then there's Mark, There's good vibes that just showed up here, I think. Good vibes. Good to see you there. Race, welcome. Thank you for your support. Listen, friends, if you feel supported by coming here on Sundays, if you feel that this is a good program to come to on Sundays and benefit from, support this online platform. It takes money to run this thing. I don't care if it's $5, $10. That'll be less money that you'll go to the casino with. You might as well support something that's helping you and helping others, right? I'm trying to support myself here too. So think about this, okay? Well, Santos, it's not about just donating. No, listen, you're giving your money. You're already donating money. You're donating money to pay the wages, to pay for the electricity, to pay for the gas or whatever, the food, the trucking industries that bring food and stuff, machines to the casinos. You're paying for all that. You're donating your money there. Why not support this ministry here that's supporting you? I don't care if it's $5 or $2. Make sure that you do that. Take away from the casino so that you're not giving everything to the casino. All right. We're going to be back here at 7 p.m. on Sunday, Pacific Standard Time. We'll be looking at episode 166. What is love and how can you better build your relationship? So Jim will be ready for that one. How can we work on ourselves a little bit more, a little bit better, instead of being so sloppy? You know what I'm saying? Gotta stop eating sloppy joes. Anyways,
Joes.
Barry, Bob, I'll give you the last words there, Jim.
Yeah.
Barry, and we missed a few people. They didn't show up today, but we've had a little bit of an audience. So thank you guys, all of you. We didn't stream just through YouTube. And Moo, my friend, keep coming back, and I hope that you've walked away with some notes. That's my desire, and that's my prayer for you. I'm glad that you're here. This is the right place, and it is the right time. All right. With that said, I'm going to give Jim the last words. Keith, once again, thank you for your support. I appreciate you, brother. And I'd love to send you, I don't know, are you in the US? I'd love to send you one of these. Let me know if we can do that for you. And then there's Jim, our friend Jim. Hey, Jim, thanks for being on the broadcast. Let me see who else is here. MB24, welcome. Joshua, hopefully we've helped Joshua in some way. Keep coming back, Joshua. I can tell you. I know sometimes we feel like, you guys don't have any compassion. Well, you know what? The casino ain't having no compassion on you either. So you got to pick the lesser of two evils here. All right. We're here for you. I'm here for you. I'm doing it. You can do it. Jim's doing it. And yes, Jim, what about the cryptocurrencies? I don't know. I've given up on a lot of that stuff. Still keeping an eye on it.
Cryptocurrencies. Yeah, just wait for Bitcoin to fall to 10 and just get back in little by little.
Yeah, wait for it to drop and then put in $30 in there so it goes
Yeah,
up.
that's right.
All right. Well, with that said, unless Jim has anything else, unless I get a quick question.
Yeah. Yeah, just focus on, choose, decide on having a positive relationship with yourself, decide, to appreciate, all the good things that you have done with your life. You know, I think we forget about all the good things that, we've done. Focus on that and focus on that, you can have a better day tomorrow, little by little, just focus on, having a better relationship with yourself. And then, when you're strong, you can be attracting stronger people into your life,
That's right.
and that's
A
the goal.
beacon of light.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for being with us once again, Jim. And you're welcome to come on the camera next weekend. It looks like next weekend we'll be talking a little bit about more not self-love so much, but what does it mean to really build a relationship with yourself? We'll dig into that a little bit more. Jim will do some homework and we'll see if we can make some good recommendations. With that said, my friends, the program is over. I'm going to see you at the top on the inside on my very next one, making every day super fantastic, terrific, and over the top. And remember, your good life is going to come out of a good series of good, constant, positive reminders. With that said, we will see you. Enjoy your 4th of July weekend. Be safe out there.
Thanks, Santos. Have a good week.
You too, Jim.
Take care. Bye bye.